this is 100% against the general autistic philosophy. Hey dudes, what's up? My name is Levente and this is Autistic Success. So today I want to talk about why I don't like Apple products and why I think it's much more symbolic than it first seems. So basically, up until a few months ago, I had never used Apple products before and I already didn't like them. Actually, I had a very strong resentment and contempt against them. But a few months ago, I started developing this project actually. And I bought a used Macbook and an iPhone, which I've been now using for a few months now, basically on a daily basis, next to my Android phone and Windows laptop. And now I don't like Apple products even more, or actually I hate them even more than before, for three reasons. So first of all, I think obviously the hype is giant, and I'm always very skeptical against things that are universally liked, universally pushed, universally approved, because if everybody likes it, then most of the time there is a little bit of issue or some other hidden feat, or I'm not saying necessarily agenda, but definitely something below the surface, which is going to be problematic for me. So I think this is probably also an autistic trait, that we autistics are much more skeptical of things, and we don't immediately or necessarily align with things that are universally loved or universally good, universally approved, but we like making our own decisions and judgment. And I've had the same with Apple products. I didn't like them before I tried them, and now I have been using them and I like them even less. And for the reason for this, the second reason for this is actually, I think, insanely bad and insanely unintuitive UI. Simply, it's really frustrating to use them because nothing makes sense. Nothing is where you would expect or you would look for it. Nothing is there where it is on every single device or mobile phone or computer, basically since the history. So basically everything is deliberately different and it just doesn't make sense. It's not intuitive to me at all. And I have to look up every single function where it is because nothing is there and everything is hidden. So it's really clearly super minimalistic, which I agree, it looks super nice. But I think the general user experience is simply not good. And also talking to my friends, basically all of my friends have iPhones. I've talked to them and asked them why they like iPhones actually, like what's the deal? It's like, because to me it just doesn't make sense. It's just much more expensive and much more worse and much more difficult to use than Android phones. And basically nobody could explain clearly. Everybody told me that, oh yeah, it's like you belong to a special club, you feel like elite, you feel like luxury. I agree with that, it's true. Other people told me, yeah, actually, I hated it when I started using it, but I got used to it. So basically, this is what I feel like. Everybody buys it only for status, and almost everybody used to hate it and found it very frustrating and difficult to use when they started using it, but they just got used to it. And this basically links back to my first point that it's basically hype and status, which I think are, for autistic people and for myself, they are not that important, or oftentimes straight up not important, or even if important, it's important in a different way. Because I couldn't care less about status. If everybody has an iPhone, then I am not in some luxury special club, because everybody has that. And even if I were in a luxury special club, if it just doesn't make sense and if it's unintuitive and dumb and frustrating to use, then that special club is a dummy club. It doesn't make sense to me. And finally, the third one, which I think is the most symbolic among of these reasons, is the general loss of freedom and individualization options and being unique and being able to stand out. So I think for autistic people, and this is definitely the case for me, we have a very strong will and oftentimes very strong character And we know exactly, in a lot of cases, we know exactly what we want. We know exactly how we want to do a specific task, how something that we use should look like or feel like or function. So sometimes we have very, very detailed, specific expectations and wishes and basically like imaginations how a specific thing should work or function or look like or whatever. And also I think we'll do oftentimes like standing out or like being individualistic or like being special or having like going the special way. I think this is the best to describe that. We autistic people we like going the special way and being unique. And this is something which I feel that with iPhones and generally the Apple atmosphere, it's basically impossible or much, much more difficult than other devices. That basically the whole point and the whole USP of Apple devices is that you cannot really do anything, like everything is limited, but we also take care of everything. We also limit everything. We also make everything deliberately different and deliberately difficult and deliberately unique, so that it's not compatible with anything. And basically you're going to get used to it. So basically we create and take care of everything for you. You don't have any decisions to make. You don't have any options to choose from. There is no difficulty here. We give you everything on a single plate, and it's luxurious. It's a special club. It looks fancy and trendy, but you will have to make no choices. So it's easy life. You will have no responsibility, no freedom, but also no responsibility, no difficult choices, no extra effort to stand out because you are already in a special club. And this is a philosophy which I generally decline, don't like, actually hate. And I think this is a general zeitgeist of the 21st century and 2026, where most companies are and society are heading, that we are deliberately removing choice, freedom, responsibility, and we are defining and limiting everything so that people just have to consume it and they don't have to make any difficult decisions. And I think this is, I think this is philosophically, it's basically the death of modern thinking and freedom. I really don't like this, and I really, as much as I can, I fight against this. And I feel that this is really the quintessential USP and market logic of Apple products, basically, that you are limited. They give you everything on a silver platter. Everything is fancy, trendy, modern, luxurious, but you are insanely confined and limited in your choices and possibilities, and also ways to stand out or be unique or do things your way. You cannot do it your way because everything is limited. This is the same trend actually in automotive industry, like Tesla's stupid door handles or touchscreen stuff or other insanely stupid automotive decisions. They also all go to the same way, where you have no responsibilities but also no choices. Everything is limited and taken care of by the company, by the maker of the specific product, and you just have to sit back and consume and be happy. And I think this is 100% against the general autistic philosophy, because we autistic people, we want freedom and we want to be special and unique, and we want to go our own way, our own unique way, and we don't want to be told by a company what we can do, what we cannot do with a specific product, or how we should use a specific product, and even limited to use a specific product. I think this is just quintessentially anti-autistic, and this is probably my biggest frustration also with Apple products. So as I said, it's symbolic. At the same time, I do agree that Apple products have many very, very good and excellent and innovative features. Some of them I really like AirDrop or the design, or pretty much these two. These are really good. But in general, the general philosophy is something that I think is anti-autistic, or at least anti-freedom and anti-unique in most of the ways. But either way, I will have to continue using them because I still continue developing this project on iOS. So I guess I will somehow make do with my MacBook and iPhone. But I never use them on my free time. I only use my Android phone everywhere. I just couldn't live with my iPhone for a day. So that is it. I don't want to talk too much. I just want to share this idea. It's a little bit more philosophical actually than I thought it would be. Let me know your takes on this and your opinion. I am really keen on hearing what your take on this is. Do you agree with me, or you actually are a happy autistic Apple user? And yes, stay safe, stay good, and I guess see you in the next one. Bye bye.